Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we begin here today, please make sure that you like and subscribe because it really does help us out. And it also really helps us reach others in need of assistance with these topics. So the topic of this video, we'll be covering algebra, and we're going to be working on word problems. And this will be our third part in the series, turning word problems into algebra problems and solving them. So we have two problems to solve, and we're going to start with our first one here that says, at a large party, the ratio of children to adults is 5:3. There are 100 more children than adults. How many adults and children are at the party? Well, with any algebra problem, you have to dissect, especially a word problem, dissect the sentences. So we know that there are 100 more children than adults, and we have a ratio of children to adults, meaning there are 5 children per every 3 adult. And we need to determine how many adults and how many children. So let's set up some variables here. So we are looking for adults and children. So let's set my x variable equal to the number of adults at this party. And then we are going to set our y variable equal to the number of children at this party. Well, is there anything in this statement that is relating the number of adults to children? Well, we have two things. We have 5:3 as a ratio, and then we have 100 more children than adults. So let's set up our first one, which is our ratio of 5:3. And anytime you see this, this is just a fraction or a ratio. So it's saying 5/3 would be how many more children there are than adults. Well, we would use that ratio of 5/3. That's supposed to be a 5/3. Let me erase that and restart. 5/3. And what we would do is saying that's how many adults it would take to equal the number of children, because there's that many children more than adults. So our adults is x. So if we multiply the number of adults by 5/3, that's how many children there are. Well, we can't solve for this equation just yet. We need some more information. Well, the second sentence gives us that information. We know that there's 100 more children than adults. Well, that means that our number of children, y, is also equal to 100 plus how many adults there are. Well, look at this. We have two equations and two unknowns. So what we can do is we can take this first one and plug it in for y in the second one. And when we do this, this is what we get. We would get 5/3 x is equal to 100 plus x. Well, we have one single equation here in terms of one variable x, and we can solve for that. So let's go ahead and let's multiply everything by 3. So this would be 5x is equal to 3 times 100 plus x. Well, this would be 5x is equal to 300 plus 3x. So then if we divide by 5, well, actually, let's take this 3x and throw it over here then. So 5x minus off 3x from each side gives me 2x is equal to 300. Now we can divide by the 2 from each side. So we would have 300 over 2, which gives me 150. So x is 150. Well, what is x? X tells me how many adults there are. So that's one of my answers. Well, the second one is asking what's the number of children. So you can use either one of these equations to solve for that. Well, let's use the easier one, which is just 100 plus 150 for x, which gives me 250. So that means that I have 250 children and 150 adults. So those are my two answers. And then let's check them with the last equation here, my y equation of 5/3. So does 5/3 times 150, does that equal 250? Well, yes, it does. So that checks out with my answers of 150 adults and 250 children. And that's how you would do the first part of this problem, or the first part of this video for this problem. All right, so let's move on to our second one here. A little bit harder. And it says a computer store sold half as many tablets as laptops. The tablets sold for $1,000 each, and the laptop sold for $800 each, assuming taxes are included. Okay. And the total amount paid was $93,600 for everything altogether. So it's asking how many tablets and laptops were sold. Okay, well, let's set up some variables just like we always do. So let's set X equal to what one of the things we're looking for, which is number of tablets sold. So I'm just going to write tablets sold. And then let's set Y to the other thing we are looking for, which is the number of laptops sold. All right, well, do we have anything that is correlating X to Y here, number of tablets sold to laptops sold? We'll look at the first sentence here. It says a computer store sold half as many tablets as laptops. So what that means is that in order to get the number of laptops I sold, I have to multiply the tablets sold by 2. So in order to get my number of laptops, I would have to take 2 times my tablets, which is X. So can we solve that equation? No, we have Y unknown and X unknown. We can't solve for it. So is there anything else that we can do? Well, yes, there is. The second sentence and the third sentence can be used, especially the second one. So it says the tablets sold for $1,000 each and laptops sold for $800 each. And then we're given the total amount sold. Well, let's set up some new variables here because we have some new information. So let's set W equal to the amount of tablets paid. And let's set Z to the amount of laptops paid. Well, can we write anything for W here? Well, W, the amount of tablets that you would get paid for is $1,000 per tablet. So it'd be 1,000 times my tablets sold, which is my variable X. And the same thing for Z here. Well, it's $800 per laptop, which is Y. Well, what does Y equal? Well, Y is equal to, we set it up here, 2 times X. Well, 800 times 2, that gives me 600X. So now we just put in terms of the amount of tablets that was paid and the amount of laptops paid, all in terms of how many tablets we have. Because the whole goal here is to get a single equation with one variable in it, or one unknown variable in it. That variable can occur multiple times in that equation, but you just have one. You don't have multiple variables all over the place. So how can we correlate tablets, the amount of tablets that were paid for, how much we made off that, and how much was made for the laptops? Well, right here, it says the total amount between all of this is 93,600. So what that means is, if I scroll a little bit here, what that means is that the total amount paid for everything, which would be tablets plus the laptops, equals 93,600. Well, let's plug in 1,000x for W and 1,600x for Z. Oh, that was supposed to mean a scroll. If it wants to scroll, thank you. Here we go. Gotta love technology. So we have 1,000x for W plus 1,600x for Z is equal to 93,600. Well, we can combine these two, and that becomes 2,600x is equal to 93,600. So X is just going to be 93,600 divided by 2,600. And that gives me a total of exactly 36. Thank goodness it came out to be a whole number, because you can't sell a partial tablet. So what is X? X is the number of tablets sold. And we just found that to be 36. Well, how many laptops were sold then? Well, twice as many as the tablets. So this would be 2 times 36, which gives me 72. All right, so there are my answers right there. We sold 36 tablets and 72 laptops. Well, like with all problems, let's double check our final answers here. So using this equation down here of W plus Z, we would have 36 laptops times 1,000, or 36 tablets, sorry, times $1,000 plus 72 laptops times $800. And what does that give me? That gives me $93,600, which is the total amount that we sold and that we are paid for it. So my answers are correct, being 36 tablets and 72 laptops. So with any of these algebra word problems, you always want to make sure that you dissect the sentence, each sentence of the statement, pull out as much information as possible, and just set your beginning variables to what the problem is asking for. With the first one, we were talking about children and adults. The second one here, we're talking about tablets and laptops. So always dissect each sentence in the statement, looking for what is being described, what is the ratio between your X and your Y, any type of equation that you can set up. So I hope this video is helpful. And if you want to see more problem solved this Friday, please check out the other videos on our channel. Also, if you haven't done so already, please like this video, leave a positive comment below, and subscribe to the channel because all of that really does help us. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.